really got the game messed up, they got it. They really got the game messed up, they got it. They really got the game messed up, they got it. You really got the game messed up, you got it. You really got the game messed up, you got it. You really got the game messed up, you got it. When you clean your rims, you gotta put a little confidence. I can see you studying this shit, but you ain't confident. It's okay to feel a little exposed. Better said than done, so I'ma tiptoe. Just know the vibe came before the zip code. So before you get lost up in the fiscal, just know I'm your big brother. And big bro gon' go and help you rip those. Heavy indoctrination, what you be fighting saying? What you be talking sassy? What you get lost up in that word when these hoes talking nasty? Till that shit turn bittersweet. You can't trust, is it me? Is it them? Is it me? Is it him? Is it him? Is it him? Is it him? Let's get it off the street. Am I in witchcraft? Answer one question for me, homie. How you rich at? Probably had a bitch that, I mean pistachio, I mean Casio. Damn, did he? Gram with me, fam with me, stand with me. I don't even like to watch you land gritting system. Tell them all lights, I missed them. Not like I missed them. They really got the game messed up, they got it. They really got the game messed up, they got it. They really got the game messed up, they got it. You really got the game messed up, you got it. You really got the game messed up, you got it. You really got the game messed up, you got it. I don't know about what treaties y'all lost in. Shit ain't got nothing to do with what y'all lost in. Fall ball deep, I evolve, crossed in. Ball, sheep, look at all y'all men. I am here today, I became the win. She like my lightsaber and she came with grin. What the fuck you think is stopping nature, man? Who the fuck you think gon' spin your shaker, man? If you blocking me, I gotta shake ya, man. Take 'em down, take 'em down, down, take 'em down. Round and round and round we go. They really got the game messed up, they got it. They really got the game messed up, they got it. They really got the game messed up, they got it. I don't even know if y'all can hear that, but it sounds so lovely. It's okay to feel a little exposed. Better said than done, so I'm gonna tiptoe. Hold on, let me get y'all couch together. My bad, I got my sweater and my book bag on our couch. Come on, just come right in, have a seat. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get into some real aspects of real spiritual knowledge on why people don't vote, because it's important. And I think I need y'all to understand this from, because they trying to make it y'all problem. I told them they gonna make it y'all problem again and stuff like that, and y'all finna fight amongst each other again, and that's just wild. That's just wild, man. We don't need y'all to be fighting amongst each other again about voting and stuff like that and things and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But first of all, time out. Let me get the whistle. Time out is Cito, the spirit coach, getting you in shape and form for the age of Aquarius. Time out. It's Cito, the spirit coach, getting you in shape and form for the age of Aquarius yet again. You're now drinking the wine of Zeus. And I just got to do it this way because it never fails. People love to make a statue out of me. People love to turn me to stone. You know what I'm saying? So this is like the allegory of Zeus is like people stoning a person that have a certain knowledge, or turning the person to stone and shit like that, aka gaslighting you to the highest degree. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much how much angles you come with, that may be right. You know what I'm saying? But never be able to seem to get to that point. So it's like stuck. You know what I'm saying? So it's like y'all got me stuck in some type of algorithm and stuff where, like, what we do as spirits is supposed to be naturally flowing and free and stuff like that. But it's just too many bricks and stuff that have been built by Masons and Mason mind and constructed y'all mind to think a certain way. So therefore, it's just in a position where it's just fucked up. The game is fucked up. The game is fucked up. The game is fucked up. And I told y'all they was going to do that. I knew it. I told y'all they was finna make that y'all responsibility, that now this is and this is just into our community. You know what I'm saying? If you think about the situation right now and how it looked, you know what I'm saying? At least they got the natural face on it. You know what I'm saying? At least we could believe like that. That's accurate. That's an accurate depiction. I don't want no person coming it looking like a thief in the night and looking like me and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's about to destroy me and shit like that. If I want to be able to see my enemy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, at least make them look like it and shit like that. So shout out to Trump being in office and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to see my enemy and shit like that. And we coming out with these, you know what I'm saying? Native associated stars as symbol. You know, we're gonna get these out. But you know, I want to be able to see my motherfucking enemy. I don't want motherfuckers to be looking like me and then, you know, so you know, for me it looked more accurate, you know, as far as the situation, as far as the presidency and shit like that, you know. And but we're gonna get into like today of like why black people don't vote, because I think people have a hard time gauging like, oh, you know, they might have points like the situation of, oh, you know, people fought for this, and really the only thing black vote did is really what you're voting for is somebody to be less racist to you. Like that just sums it up all over. You know, there's no other point than that. Y'all asking for people to vote for them to get treated less racist, and that's weird. That's weird. So we're gonna get into the actual untold history of the blacks, because I don't see how y'all not looking at it as similar. It's a similar situation that's playing out over and over again. And you might just be, you know, too much into a bias in one of these, you know what I'm saying, to actually understand this perspective that I'm coming from. But I'm going to give you a perspective that's going to put it all in perspective to teach you, one, voting hasn't changed a goddamn thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's been going on since about 203. How many years now? How long has voting been? How long has voting been around? Since the 1700s, I want to say late 1700s. Okay. So in that aspect, if we thinking about what has progressed from the 1700s until the 2024s, the only thing that progressed is one part of blacks being treated less racism, getting treated less racism, getting handed less slavery. Because it wasn't like it wasn't free blacks that were already in the Americas that were urbanized, that had schools, that had organizations. It's the same shit now. So therefore, when you look at the progression scale, the only reason y'all encouraging people to vote is to do the same thing, which is basically abolish slavery or get rid of slavery and stuff, or get rid of racism. But the whole thing in general is racism. So you already had the free blacks. You already had the free blacks, right? And then, you know, you had the blacks that were enslaved. It wasn't like, I don't get how y'all not looking at it like, why y'all looking at it like it was just blacks brought over here and it wasn't already colored copper people, aka the Indians, me, my lineage, and our family and shit like that. Y'all not looking at it like that. Y'all looking at it just like blacks came over here and they just put all y'all ass to work. That's not the case. The case is it was always free blacks, especially in the northern parts of, you know, history. And it was blacks in the South that they migrated, because migration is a thing that they do. They migrated over here to and shout out to StreamYard and shit like that. I fuck with them. You know what I'm saying? They fuck with us. Just want to say that randomly. But you know what I'm saying? The motherfucking it was already blacks over here that were called free blacks and shit like that, and there was blacks over here that were not free, and it's been a fight since then. So the only thing that really voting did economically was add more blacks to the economy of the free blacks, and that helped flourish the black community, which we all mix and mingling now. That's why black Africans think they black, and you know what I'm saying, there's all people types of things, you know what I'm saying. But really the free blacks were the natives blacks and the motherfuckers that came over here with the Europeans on the motherfucking ship, and then they migrated some other niggas with some other different tactics, you know what I'm saying, some other harsh European tactics, and brought that shit over here too. So voting hasn't changed anything economically grand for blacks that black haven't been doing already themselves. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people don't get. We're not voting to put blacks, give blacks a infrastructure like the government. Y'all not that's not going to lead to that outcome. And I'm speaking for blacks in places they don't even know what they're speaking for right now too. This is why that they don't vote. You know what I'm saying? So I'm speaking directly to the government right now. I'm speaking to, because they sitting online trying to create narratives of how we uneducated and we should be doing these small little situations with voting for this judge, voting for this Senate, voting for this. And okay, that doesn't matter in an aspect of the system that's built already was built on the free blacks with the free blacks of the Americas, which is basically the native people, if you want to say so, and and the other blacks and shit like that were slaves and shit. You know what I'm saying? That was the Africans and whoever be claiming that knowledge, but it was free black. My people ain't go through that. You know what I'm saying? Because we native and shit like that, so we didn't go through slavery and shit. We go through the everyday slavery of the, like, you know what I'm saying, just being able to having this system to build and uphold and shake hands with these white men and shit like that. And yeah, they get tricky too. So when you look at it from the European aspect of the situation, you know what I'm saying, they've always been in favor of their positioning within what they want to do in America and shit like that. So it hasn't been no situation where they ever gave nobody power. The power that black people have today is the power that people take it themselves and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's been. So the little houses that we got, the little communities that we got, the little name on the buildings that we own and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, the wealth that we got in Americas and shit like that, that has never been because of voting. That has been a thing that has been around the thing since the beginning of the colonization and shit, with them aka making treaties with the Indians, but they have them still doing psyops on the Indians and shit like that. But what we have gained already has been around since the beginning of, you know, time and shit like that. So, you know, yeah, that's what motherfuckers got to understand and shit like that. And we finna pull this shit up too, motherfuckers. Show y'all so educated. Y'all ain't never heard of antebellum blacks and shit like that. All right, let's get it though. This cat. Nobody wants to see your face, man. It's the native hobbyism and shit like that. Get that goof ass shit out of here. All right. Fireplaces and shit. Talking about Amazon packages. So they be trying to be natives and shit. So bad. But yeah, hold on. Let's play this shit.
Internal cultural differences among blacks have long been extreme, ranging from such things.
This is why blacks don't vote.
as urbanization, education, and regional distribution.
Urbanization is basically infrastructure in society. So having hospitals, you know what I'm saying, all type of shit, churches, that's what urbanization is. Stores. Okay, so let me because this is what y'all blacks don't understand.
Long been extreme, ranging from such things as urbanization, education, and regional distribution to rates of crime.
AKA, this is how they've been making y'all fight amongst each other since the beginning of time when it comes to being a part of that shit.
Economic achievement, and general acculturation to the norms of the surrounding society. Historically, the most fundamental difference for many generations was between those blacks who were slaves and those who were free.
You hear what he just said? Okay, so that means there was always free black people in the Americas, and there was always black people that were not free in the Americas.
They differed not only in their legal status, but also in their regional distribution, their degree of urbanization, and even biologically.
AKA the natives already had, look at these natives
There were
right here. Look at these natives right here. The natives always had a piece of the pie and shit. It's y'all blacks that's coming over here that's confused and stuff, and they change y'all, told y'all, there's y'all, and a lot of y'all blacks that's thinking y'all from Africa is because y'all only learned that growing up, going through their school system and shit like that to make you what they want you to be and craft you how they be, so you can be a functioning person in society until you have a person like me that's got enough blood here passed down through my family to have enough memory and mind to give this information to.
For free blacks as far back as the 17th century.
They really got to get, as far as back as the 17th century. So that means voting came in late 1700s. So that means we already had our shit together. You know what I'm saying? And really what they talking about free blacks, that was just based on them doing some type of consensus and gaining information. It's not like they freed them and calling them free blacks. They just saying, oh, this is a free person walking around and stuff doing consensus. And you know what I'm saying? We want to take them, but that also leads to them psyoping and doing tactics and shit and learning how to get rid of y'all and how to get rid of y'all mindset as well.
In fact, there were free blacks before there were slaves in America. The first...
They really got the game fucked up. They got, you gotta get what I'm saying.
Africans brought in captivity to colonial Virginia in 1619 became indentured servants, like the...
They really got their game fucked up. They got
white indentured servants who were common in colonial America.
Whites was indentured servants too. You get what I'm saying? Everybody, you understand. Once you understand the actual angle, you'll be able to understand how to attack it better. Y'all not understanding angles, y'all understanding what they want y'all. Just like that, I got all these people. It's like y'all undereducated black people need to go out here and do, and they ain't voted for no damn judge. They ain't been rallying judges. They ain't been rallying senates on their YouTube pages. They ain't been making videos about YouTube about how we should do. No, I don't want to hear that. Y'all don't got no dedication.
Only
and y'all ain't doing that shit either. So that argument is only passed down from y'all what y'all can reading on Twitter and you can say to make yourself feel better about shit, you know what I'm saying, that you don't have control about anyway, but it can put you in some space where because you got this certain morality that they giving down to y'all should have, because it's just retardedness at the end of the day.
Later, with the mass importation of Africans, did this change. The first law in America recognizing perpetual slavery appeared in 1661 in Virginia.
So it was slavery. Let me go back. I think he just said slavery was basically recognized in 1661.
First law in America recognizing perpetual slavery appeared in 1661 in Virginia. The small class of free blacks in colonial America had fewer restrictions than other free blacks would have in the 19th century, and many of them and their descendants made use of their opportunities.
AKA, it's the same shit today. It's a little black people that got their shit together around the world. It's some black people that don't got their shit together now. It's the same shit. There's actually an allegory of how they want y'all to think, really. But I'm gonna just be on the sake of, you know what I'm saying, turn my angel demon face up and actually, and don't get lost when I say demon. Demon just mean, you know what I'm saying, something that's more condensed and stuff, and like it's something that'll scare you and get in your ass. But I'm gonna be an angel right now, and for the sake of shit, just tell you that this is how to look at it through history. But really, this is just some psychological shit, that we can break down too.
There was a black writer named
That's a Masonic view shit.
Gustavus Vasa, whose book was popular enough to go through 8 editions at a time when the vast majority of blacks were still illiterate slaves in the South.
Attention.
Oh, come on, dude. Nobody want to see your face. Nobody would see your face. Nobody would see your face. Nobody went to see your motherfucking face. Oh, hey, what you gotta say?
Benjamin Banneker was a publisher of almanacs and was also one of those who designed the layout of the city of Washington.
AKA, this nigga was a native. Get what I'm saying? Check it out. What that say round now and down there? Y'all see that?
Again,
Let's see. Astronomer, city planner. Okay, so he was native. He was into the native shit. He wasn't a slave. This is what y'all need to understand. This is why niggas not voting, because we not seeing no actual progression. We trying to see y'all feed us a story and then rock us to sleep on how we should vote. Black people always had their shit together. Get us in on it. And I ain't even talk. No, not even them. We can't. We in a point where it's too dangerous to say us and shit like that, because y'all done infiltrated and stuff like that. Get natives in on it. Native meet people like me that have the actual mind that can tell you how this shit go. Other than that, y'all trying to do some psyop shit and get people lost into rhetoric.
Before most blacks were either free or able to read and write.
Boom. This is how they changed everybody ethnicity to black in like the 1800s or something like that. When they changed it to color or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is what they own. You know what I'm saying? This is what they own. This is what they're trying to do with everybody right now. Even the Venezuelans, they always been immigrating people, bringing people in, mixing people up, then getting you born under that concept. Until you grow up out of that concept and be like, oh, that ain't the world. And they got many puppets to do it. So they got a crafted puppet for your generation that you can follow, you know what I'm saying? And then they get rid of that person, and all the principles is, and this is their version of transforming you into a new man. It's a Masonic practice. Y'all don't know about that though. Y'all don't know. But that's why I gotta come as Zeus, because even if I was to get around a group of y'all and tell y'all this in person and stuff like that, it'll be so out of y'all space that it's gonna be like I ain't saying nothing. So that's what that ritual and spell of turning me to stone or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? The statue of Zeus and shit. And shit. Or Zeus living on Mount Olympus. And I ain't even, I'm just saying, I know that energy because it correlates to a space that I be in or some shit like that. I ain't even that.
There were not just isolated individual blacks who were.
Benjamin Banneker, astronomer, city planner. This native NAGA was already in business. Is already blacks in business. That don't mean they ain't still took over most of the shit though. That's the thing. Y'all gotta understand. Start there. They already took over the shit when they came in. The Europeans already stationed up. They did the natives bogus until they can, craft the nigga to be a little bit more, okay, we can work more with your system, aka Benjamin Banneker. And some of them felt bad for what they did. So, they were trying to, especially the French, some of them felt bad for what they was doing to the natives and shit like that. So, it was a bit of trying to fuse and harmony, but it got ugly too, though, before that. You know what I'm saying? So this is where it's at realistically, not in where y'all be at in y'all mind.
Cultural
whole world in their minds.
More advanced than other blacks, but whole classes of blacks who had achieved cultural levels that most blacks would not achieve until many generations later.
Because they weren't black, we was already native.
The size of the free black population increased after the United States came into existence as an independent nation, as the ideology of freedom associated with the American Revolution led most northern states to abolish slavery, and even in the South, enough white slave owners freed their slaves to cause the free black population there to nearly double and then redouble between 1790 and 1810. Both the regional distribution and the degree of urbanization of free and enslaved blacks differed greatly. After the invention of the cotton gin in 1793, the cotton plantations of the Deep South began to draw slaves away from upper South states like Virginia and North Carolina toward more southerly states like Mississippi and Alabama, sometimes as individuals sold down the river and often as part of whole plantations that relocated. Thus, the geographic center of the black population.
So you get what I'm saying? It was already the natives and shit like that, and there was the immigrated blacks that they brought over here from Africa and shit too, and they all started mixing and mingling, Jamaicans or whatever you was, or you could be Haitian, exile some invader shit. That this is how they run a government. They do this over in Europe, they do this in Africa. That's why they say in South Africa it's a hella whites over there. This is their government. This is how they run government. I don't get how y'all don't see it like that.
And moved steadily southwestward at an average of about 50 miles per decade. Meanwhile, the free persons of color were moving in the directly opposite direction. While more than 90% of the antebellum black population lived in the South, the free persons of color were
antebellum black. That's basically the blacks that were free already.
Evenly divided between the states of the North and South. And within the South, they tended to leave the Deep South and gravitate toward that region's less oppressive places farther north. The difference in geographic distribution was so extreme that in 1860, there were more free blacks living in the city of Washington alone than in the state.
Where y'all niggas be at right now? DC. You know what I'm saying? That's where y'all niggas be at. That's what I'm saying. Ain't shit changed. That's what y'all got to know. Ain't shit changed. Ain't shit changed. Ain't shit changed. So it's been the same thing. It's been these. So when we can vote and we can start talking about how we can build our own museums and we can we can talk like that. You know what I'm saying? How y'all gonna fund $1 million to people that we know, not people that gotta go through y'all government system, do this, shake this hand and stuff like that. That ain't our shit. That's y'all shit. That's y'all shit. Okay?
Alabama and Georgia combined, these states having huge concentrations of slaves. The slave and the free also differed greatly in urbanization. While most black slaves worked in rural settings, by 1860, the free persons of color were more urbanized than even the white population.
We've been at our shit together.
There were cultural consequences to these historic and geographic differences. While the vast majority...
This is what they've been doing, making y'all argue amongst each other and shit like that, and not recognize the whole situation is the problem and how they came over here and invaded and shit like that and slaughtered y'all. It made y'all indentured to each other. This is a system of government running as far as the slaves, as far as how many people they killed to know how to run a society, for y'all can totally depend on them and not the native system and not the native mind and not native science and not how to look at, the world through the native lens and the spirituality. That's what I'm saying. The whole shit is fucked up. Come on.
The majority of slaves could neither read nor write. The census of 1850 showed that most free persons of color were literate, but it would be half a century later, 2 generations after emancipation, before the same would be true of the black population as a whole.
So yeah, some of y'all is dumb. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all ain't really like up there, got it all there and stuff like that. It don't matter how much money you got and stuff like that, because you may seem like you smart because you got a job and stuff. You ain't got no intelligence on how the motherfucking world been moving. So that's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole different
It would be 1940 before the black population as a whole became as urbanized as the free persons of color were in 1850.
So I got to come on here, and I ain't even black, but I'm native, but I got to come on here and teach y'all why y'all black people don't vote and stuff. You know, it ain't because we ain't going to the electoral college and stuff like that. It ain't because of that. It ain't because we ain't going to the electoral college. And no, it's because motherfuckers ain't seen no real results. Why our grandmas don't own, you know what I'm saying, nice shit up the street and stuff like that, except the free ones and stuff. But yeah, that's low population. And why is that? Because they probably was native and probably got slaughtered by the hands of the Europeans. You get what I'm saying? So it's unfair and stuff how they was doing the natives with the treaties and shit like that. Y'all can watch my other videos and shit. Like,
the cultural head starts of this segment of the black population had enduring consequences. The descendants of the antebellum free persons of color remained predominant among black leaders in many fields well into the 20th century, and they included W.E.B. Du Bois, Thomas Fortune, Charles Waddell Chestnut, Thurgood Marshall, John Hope Franklin, and many others. Most black holders of doctoral degrees in the middle of the 20th century, as well.
Sound like this, what they said this was 200 years ago, this sound about now. So the thing is that with voting, you was only really voting for it to be less racism on people. That how that sound? I want to vote for you to be less racist. No, how about we all come together and figure out a way for them to not let us treat us racist and stuff like that, because we got intelligence and stuff, and make them feel like that's the dumb thing to do. You know what I'm saying? And you know that. How about that? How about we still put it to their ass on how they treated the natives and stuff, and we ain't voting and we ain't working until we ain't giving our, you know what I'm saying, we ain't upholding y'all shit until, you know what I'm saying, y'all motherfucker break bread evenly and shit. Like, why y'all ain't got them arguments?
Well, as most Negro.
Why I gotta be, bro, you gotta put on a suit and go, no, what the fuck they got to do with negotiate? See, they killed the native, took his son, put him in one of their suits, raised them and stuff like that, and now that's the way he got to fight. He can't fight with his own clothes no more. You know what I'm saying? He can't go into the court with his own, like, he got to go in there with a suit.
Was working in the professions in the nation's capital at that time were by all indications descendants of the antebellum free persons of color, a group that was never more than 14% of the black population. As a group, the free persons of color also differed from the slaves in racial mixture. As in most of the Western Hemisphere, freed slaves were often the offspring of those who freed them, and the adults freed were more often female than male. While only 8%
about like right now
of slaves met the stringent U.S. Census requirement of half or more white ancestry.
So y'all just think this involvement, y'all just think this natural law that, no, this is after slaughter. That's what it is.
To be classified as mulatto, 37% of the free persons of color did. This is not to say that all the others in either category were of pure African ancestry, but there were very noticeable skin color differences between the more acculturated descendants of those freed before the Civil War and those freed as a result of the Emancipation Proclamation.
Okay, they started immigrating, y'all, mixing the native black people with the African black people and the French and shit like that and all of that shit.
The noticeably greater success of the former was often attributed to their white ancestry, both by whites and by some of the Negro elite themselves. But the historical and cultural antecedents of that success are undeniable. Moreover, the later rise of other blacks to similar levels of achievement undermines the biological.
That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? A way for them to, you know, making us care about immigrants, probably because they was looking like they looked like us and stuff like that. They doing the same thing now, but they just look like you from a different perspective. So it's an updated concept. They look like you based upon them putting you in struggle and them having a struggle that they only come up to.
Explanation of these internal differences among blacks. The point here is that cultural differences led to striking socioeconomic differences among blacks, as they did among whites. In both races, those who lived within the redneck culture lagged far behind those who did not. That these cultural differences among blacks also coincided with biological
And they started giving their ass more too.
differences did not mean that biology explained the differences in performance. The offspring of white slave owners not only had a better chance of being freed, they also tended to have better opportunities while still enslaved.
They had jobs. Let's run that back. Let me make sure y'all getting that through y'all here.
Performance. Differences among blacks also coincided with biological differences among blacks, as they did among whites. In both races, those who lived within the redneck culture lagged far behind those who did not. That these cultural differences among blacks also coincided with biological differences did not mean that biology explained the differences in performance. The offspring of white slave owners not only had a better chance of being freed, they also tended to have better opportunities while still enslaved, being more likely to be house servants rather than field hands, and, in some cases, living the lives of de facto free persons.
They always making y'all argue with each other. Who got the less and who got the more?
Persons while still legally in bondage. Reconstruction-era black Senator Blanche K. Bruce, for example, was during the era of slavery tutored alongside his owner's son, or other son, as many believed.
Check this.
Yeah, but you get the point. That's why blacks don't vote. They don't want to hear that shit, man. They don't want to hear that shit. Niggas, the same shit been happening. The same narrative. If blacks all black, so that's what you gotta ask. Okay, what you voting for? Is somebody to be less racist towards you? You know what I'm saying? And that's what it sound about right. Because in a sense of if it was already free blacks before the voting era and shit like that, aka the 1700s, and we had some other blacks that they didn't brought over here, that's them making their problem y'all's again. So they making their problem y'all. They didn't brought motherfuckers over here, slaved them over under the U.S. system. They ain't got shit to do with natives. They didn't already kill all of our generation, which was the free blacks. Don't get it fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And the families that was already here. So now we got to vote for them to be less racist towards them, and that, you know. So it's just that ain't that what Trump doing with the Venezuelans and shit like that, and y'all trying to vote for them to be less racist towards something. That's a tactic. It's the same tactic, and I don't know how y'all niggas don't be getting it. Oh my god. Let's see. Let's keep it going, man.
The antebellum era, there were other mulatto offspring of white slave owners who were given special consideration and aid. Some were sent to Oberlin College, sometimes with an intermediary handling finance.
So yeah, when we can vote and we can say, okay, you know, can we get our name on Coca-Cola board, or you know what I'm saying, can the natives get this land and stuff? We just do what we want in our spiritual practice. That's when we'll feel better. You know what I'm saying? Until we gotta vote and uphold some food shit, you know what I'm saying, that don't make sense on no level. Ain't nobody gonna want to vote anyway. Ain't nobody's there. People tired of getting rocked to sleep.
Financial arrangements, apparently to conceal the identity of the white father. This is not to say that most slave owners freed their mulatto offspring, but that of those blacks freed voluntarily, mulattoes were far more common than among the slave population in general, and that women were freed more often than men. Moreover, this pattern prevailed throughout the Western Hemisphere. The point here is that the descendants of free persons of color had a cultural history that served them better than the cultural history of the descendants of slaves.
Okay, and two, you know, you have natives mixing with whites and whites mixing with, because it was more acceptable in the northern places of Americas. So that's when after the war and everybody trying to come together, after we were like, okay, niggas ain't going too far. Type shit, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you're gonna have light skin. So those are the people that you see in power today, that, you know, be having connections in the industry and families, and they families be good. Like those are those types of people. But other than that, you know what I'm saying, you may just been a part of the system.
Even after the abolition of slavery ended differences in their legal status. Whether by individual escapes from slavery, by voluntary manumissions in the antebellum South, or by general emancipation by law in the northern states, a black class of free persons of color emerged long before the Emancipation Proclamation. The more prosperous of these families were able to educate their own children, sometimes through college, and these were typically lighter-skinned people, as well as people with generations of a head start in freedom and acculturation, as compared to the mass of enslaved blacks. The net result was that the elite among American Negroes tended to be, and to remain for generations after emancipation, a racially mixed group that married among themselves and formed a socially exclusive class. Among 19th century Negroes in Philadelphia, for example, 85% of mulatto men married mulatto women, and 93% of black men married black women. This was not solely a matter of color prejudice, for there were major behavioral differences between the two groups.
Okay, they was native and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So you native, you either copper red, or you may take a lighter form. But like I said, these motherfuckers been fucking in jungle fever and shit all that. Like, it ain't even that deep and stuff like that. It's just, it was natives mixing and shit like that, and it was Africans, you know what I'm saying, and black people that came over here through, you know, like from the islands and shit like that, and from Britain and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, those are the people that were already within the European system. The only other spiritual system you had was natives, and they destroying that now on every level, just based upon how they put natives in spell with their alchemy and how they want to mentally box, you know, us in and make, you know, our opinions seem invalid and stuff like that. But also the thing on the mind where, you know, you kind of fighting for something that's kind of made up, and they don't have no say in that because it be y'all do the work for them. You get what I'm saying? So it's retarded.
The mulatto neighborhoods had lower crime rates and a higher percentage of their children attending school as compared to the black neighborhoods, even though
black always been here.
It can hardly be claimed that school attendance or crime rates are genetically predetermined. In short, there were major cultural differences, and these differences in turn,
aka it was natives, Americans, whatever, y'all can call them Moors or whatever, but the only thing that was here was the Native Americans before the Europeans invaded, and that was it.
Produced other differences, such as a higher
then they started bringing other blacks over here and shit.
Occupational status, better housing, and more wealth among the mulattoes. Nor was this pattern confined to Philadelphia. All across the country, north and south, the elite of the Negro community were lighter in complexion than the masses, and very self-conscious and sometimes snobbish about
a mulatto is a European and mixed with an African.
That fact.
Those are people that come from Europe.
Fact. This remained so through at least the first half of the 20th century. Among the consequences of the extreme range of education and acculturation within the Negro community has been the larger society's erection of racial barriers provoked by black rednecks, which barriers then deeply offended those individuals at the other.
All right, it's kind of getting toward the end, but that's basically it, though. That's basically it. I ain't gotta see none of this or shit like that. Boom. That's why black people don't vote, because it's always been the same. There's always been black people that's been doing fairly well for themselves, and there's always been the less fortunate. Over the last 200, 300 years, when we cast a ballot for a Democrat or whoever, which we have, you know, people came up for Obama and other politicians that they seen, the margin of ownership, the margin of being in government, the margin of being in the fashion of running, if this day got to be called Tuesday, if this day, that ain't in black people's hands. So if you are voting for sins, it only seems like you're voting for somebody to be less racist towards you within their system. And I don't even think black people know that. So when you have a company, you have the many faces of the company in the different positions that the company has, right? That position outlasts human. A human may live 100 years. A company position may live 300, 400 years. So it's not the person that's playing the face, it's the person that is behind the situation of the company's values, the company's mission statement, the company's, integrity, their morality. So when we look at USA Incorporated Inc. and we look at these names, Louisiana, these indigenous names, Illinois, Missouri, we look at how government from the Europe was, they had the invader mind, which they still do, came over here and destroyed intentionally this and put y'all in confusion by design. So that is why 99,000 motherfucking percentage of people is confused and shit like that. And those are the very things that, we need to understand before we get into these arguments, fighting amongst each other of what actually are y'all voting for? A better color on your casket? You get what I'm saying? It hasn't been better voting for your people to get a way to do credit, or you know what I'm saying? It's always been at the disadvantage of these motherfuckers coming over here with their religion, their mindset, and how y'all should live. And it never works for y'all outside of that. It don't work for y'all. It don't work for y'all in any other fashion, but within the limitations of the job that the person is playing. You can't be Obama and be like from the hood and be like, hey, this what the fuck I want. I'm finna build this motherfucking thing right here for the people. No, guess what? Your ass finna get your shit tore the fuck down, burnt up, and psyop on all of that shit. You can't do that. What you gotta do, they tell you to go through a system, do these practices, and then when you still get in, you can't get shit. So I really understand what y'all are begging people to ask for, you know what I'm saying, before y'all do, because that can cause confusion and shit like that, you know what I'm saying. And when y'all already put it in a space where the motherfuckers don't even know their whole story yet, so like, what is black? That's not even a real thing. Haitians, it's Jamaicans, whatever. They don't identify as black. It's only the black people that don't know what the fuck they is. Africans know they Africans. Okay, so we've been the free native blacks that's been here for a long ass time, that been had our shit together and stuff like that. But of course, we come up, coming up under these harsh conditions, and then they schooling and shit. We getting taught what they want to, like, come on, this is business, baby. Y'all gotta know what the fuck is going on. There's business out here. Business. I keep thinking it's tea in there. Yeah, but for the most part, you gotta understand what the fuck. You ain't got no knowledge. This shit is very simple. It ain't gotta be that. It ain't gotta be hard and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very motherfucking simple when you put this shit in the right perspective. So look up the antebellum black. That's why black people not voting. Now, we saw some shit where, like I said, like we could be getting in these companies, shooting our rockets off like Elon Musk and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see if that we ain't got that. Okay, so let y'all know whose system y'all up under, and y'all motherfucking better obey and shit like that. And anytime you motherfuckers get to complaining more and shit like that, y'all bet not build nothing on y'all land that y'all was already on. That's crazy. The defeat is crazy. The defeat is crazy, my man. Defeat is crazy. But yeah, man, this shit is really, really you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got these shirts coming soon and shit like that. We got the music out and shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we gotta get back to the native way of thinking You know what I'm saying? Trust me, like they didn't put a lot of shit out for y'all to get confused about who y'all are. You know what I'm saying? This is what they want y'all to do. You know what I'm saying? So I just gotta do that Zeus magic and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's Mount Olympus and shit. I'm moving. You know what I'm saying? I'm making motherfucking not living on top of the mountain. I ain't stuck in. Oh well, people stuck in their ways, right? Real shit. Shout out to this guy. You know what I'm saying? And shit. And all the black people got to stop being confused. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, confused. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is live in your mind. Like, use your mind and stuff like that. Y'all don't even be using your mind. Y'all don't even be using your mind and seeing how shit started and what it is. Like, do the simple things. Like, look at the situation around you. You know what I'm saying? Look at how it's going. Look how it's flowing. Look how everybody's participating. Look where it's at and look where it makes sense in that. There's no common sense. So it would make, it makes sense why there's no trust in that shit, because people be having some type of utopia that the Democrats done. It's like, oh, they fight for your right to vote. Okay, but for what? For it to be less slavery towards a group amongst the people? Because niggas always had their shit together. They fought. That's like us fight. That's like y'all saying the Venezuelans fought to get to vote and shit like that. Of course, they immigrants. You know what I'm saying? It's like you gotta look at it from that perspective. You gotta look at it from that perspective. It's business. It's business. It's business. It's business. You know what I'm saying? It's business. Business. Don't ever think you're not on somebody's business. The USA Inc. ain't a business. You know what I'm saying? It's a business that came over here and the business practices. And they do it all over and shit like that. Europe Inc., Europe, England Inc. Those are the royal families. They do it all over. They run y'all minds. They don't run the world because y'all can change y'all mind anytime y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? They don't run the world. They run y'all minds. And the more y'all fight for their shit and their rhetoric and stuff like that, and the more you don't, okay, cool. You showing why you need to be in slavery. And that's it. And that's why Trump run. Mm-hmm. And that about it. A runaway slave never got treated as good as a migrant. No, you missing the point. You're missing the point. You're missing the point. Y'all might have to run back the video. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, the practices of slavery that they brought over here was what they was doing at the time. They realized that was too harsh, so they're not doing it no more. But that don't mean just because you got to wake up and go to slave. I mean, you got to go wait slave for work and shit like that you ain't got a mental motherfucking whipping your ass and shit like that. They didn't learn how to do it mentally now. So they don't have to use actual whips. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to use actual whips. You get what I'm saying? Right. Wages. You know what I'm saying? Like wedges and shit. It's right in front of you. It's right in front of you. You can't miss it. You know what I'm saying? If you're smart, if you can see it, you can't miss it. This is why black people don't vote, because it ain't been successful. It ain't been successful in in nothing as far as, you know what I'm saying? Because first of all, y'all ripped the history. So it's like niggas don't even know what they voting for. They think they're voting for a better spot in y'all shit. What they really should be voting for is maybe some of their own indigenous practices, like the free people had, which was the natives, and that to be more of things that help y'all mind. Astrology, church, it don't work. You know what I'm saying? That's European type shit. You know what I'm saying? Things that actually help you from a different perspective, because it may be more in cahoots with the land you came up out of. They trying to figure it out constantly, trying to enslave people all the time, trying to run plays all the time, trying to use people as examples. Well, what y'all shouldn't do, what y'all should do. Yet they doing that the hardest than anybody, more than anybody. They did racketeering harder than anybody with the natives when they came and shook hands with them. Then used their business for crime and to just kill all of them. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. This shit don't make no sense, B. The shit don't make no type of sense. So when we have a more clear, crystal perception on how the vote helps the individual outside of people that gotta, you know what I'm saying, do y'all dance and, you know what I'm saying, and do y'all witchcraft first and stuff like that, okay, then maybe we talking, but we ain't even in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I need shit in my Cash App like right now, below the link in the description, for you to like understand like how hard I'm coming. Pause. But this is, you know, when, you know, fun. Why they gotta own the communicate? I mean, why they gotta own the companies and shit like that? Like, I don't know nobody. Like, think about it. Think about it deeply, man. Think about it. Cause why? Because every time you try to do something on your own, you try to get a business, okay, boom, they come and knocking that shit down and putting you in their colony. Okay, you using our money, you like it's sold up. So it's too harsh. Nobody wants to do anything. That's why. Ease up. Ease up. It ain't like niggas die anyway. Oh, a native gonna come again, because we don't even believe in, you know what I'm saying, death like y'all. So we always gonna find new shapes and forms to come through, and vessels to come through again to tell y'all retarded and y'all still going too hard. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. And this is why y'all shit never get through, and we can't never reach no type of world peace. Y'all just running and doing y'all magic everywhere. Of course. You know what I'm saying? We in that space. We in that state of being. But it ain't like we gonna die, or it ain't like that. Like you can't kill a spirit. You know, you can kill a body, but the blood and what we creating is where we gonna go to. So if we go to a bigger space that can kind of control that world from this world, of course, we're going to come back here to tell you, hey, we back again. The natives is back again. And we coming through spirits possessing these dead cells and shit like that. And y'all retarded. No matter how much power y'all in, y'all just got to deal with that struggle every day of upholding the land and stuff like that, and trying to convince people and thinking how people rock people to sleep. Come up with slavery and stuff like that, because y'all was mad that, you know what I'm saying, we was getting y'all, when y'all came over here, y'all people, y'all European people, y'all like our swag, y'all like the native swag, y'all like how we did shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all kids like how we did shit. It's the same shit now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they like our music, you know, they like our style, you know, they like our dress. Yeah, it's the same shit. It ain't changed. You know what I'm saying? So this is like, now that y'all own our shit and shit like that, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a motherfucker hating and non-fairness, non-acceptance of universal law. So the best thing you can do is, man, shout out to Dolo Poly, man. Melt some metal, kill people, go far, manipulate to making it feel like we don't have no say so and shit like that, and try to create a new race of people that got erased history. And that's really it. Every Venezuelan that finna go over here probably for the next 100, 200 years, they finna grow up thinking like they from America too and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? And that's it. You got a new, that's they plan. So yeah, it's real simple, you know what I'm saying? When you getting people, you know, it's just not, it don't make no sense to why, what is we voting for, or who said that system worked. This is why black people don't vote. All right? And thank y'all for kicking it with me. I'm Cito, the spirit coach, getting you in shape and form for the age of Aquarius yet again. Get your ass in the game. And make sure y'all motherfuckers stay spiritually protected. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I respect everybody. I got people in politics. I got people out in politics. You know what I'm saying? I got people, you know what I'm saying, that's halfway. You You know what I'm saying? I got motherfucking natives, I got Africans, you know what I'm saying? My team, my committee big, you know what I'm saying? We strong as a union. You know what I'm saying? So peace. Make sure y'all keep y'all head up.